Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you 12 quick things you can sew that you can sell or gift. You can make them all from scrap fabrics. Some of them use the smallest amount of fabric, they're practically free to make. And I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who clicks like and subscribe, and to everybody who leaves a comment. Thank you. The first thing I'm going to show you is a lanyard. All you need for this is some scrap fabrics and some D-clips. The size of the fabric that you need, the width, is going to be determined by the size of your D-clip. I used a giant D-clip because that was all I had, and I used 4 inches wide by about 40 inches long. You could use leftover jelly strips or patchwork a whole bunch of stuff together and make them patchwork, but they're a really good gift to give, and I'm going to show you in a minute some things that you can make to hang on them. So that's number one. The second thing I've got to show you are these. So these are pen holders. You can pop a pen in there. All you need for these is some fabric scraps and some elastic. They stretch over a book. I would show you, but I can't find a book. You only need one piece of fabric for the front, which is 2.5 by 5.5, and 2 pieces for there and there, front and back, and they are 2.5 by 7.5, I think. They take around 10 minutes to make, and you could also use leftover jelly strips for these too. They're super quick and really popular. The next thing I've got to show you is this. It takes a little bit more fabric than the other things, but it's a really nice gift, and you could make this for a man or a woman. So I've made it as a makeup brush holder, but you could put tools in it. It's just 3 pieces of fabric. They're all 10 by 14 inches. You can make the pockets whatever size you want, and they're really nice to give as a gift, and they just roll up. Like that. The next thing I've got to show you is this lanyard. This one holds your glasses and your pen. You don't have to clip them on. They just slide into the little pockets there. All you need for this is about 35 inches of fabric that's around 3 inches wide, I think, and a D-clip or a ring or something to put on the end of it. They're super quick to make. They take around 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they're really popular. And again, they're good for teachers, nurses, anyone that wears a lanyard. The next one is one of my favourites. It's a pouch that's diagonal zipper on it. All you need for this is one zipper. You need some fabric that's around 8.5 to 11 inches to make one this size, but it's big enough to fit in oversized sunglasses. Or you can put your phone in there. You'll need some kind of padding, so an iron-on fleece or maybe quilt it, and a zipper, and that's all. These are another thing you can make with leftover jelly strips or cut your own strips. You'll need 2.5 inches by about 24 inches, the way they're made. They're pen holders, and they clip onto your lanyard. Or you could put one of the D swivel clips straight onto there and clip it onto your own lanyard or onto your handbag or your purse. And they're super quick to make. It's my most watched video, and they are really, really popular. I make them for gifts all the time. The next thing on the list are these super cute phone holders. I've made this one from patchwork, but you can just use 5 by 13 fabric and a little bit for a tab if you want a tab in it. This one looks a little bit worse for wear now because it gets a lot of use. You sit your phone on it there. I can't show you because I'm using my phone to record this. So your phone sits in there and it sits your phone up, so you can sit with that on the table and watch stuff on your phone. They're really quick to make. You can make them in around 30 minutes. They're really popular, and all you need is your fabric, maybe some interfacing and some rice to fill them with. But they're really popular, and I make a lot of them. The next thing on the list are these Christmas cards. These are basically just all the tiny scraps I had at the time sewn onto an 8x8 piece of iron-on interfacing, like a kind of fleecy one because he's a little bit padded. And then I've sewn them directly onto the card. So all you need for these is some card blanks, maybe some ribbons to make them pretty, and maybe print out some Merry Christmas things, or birthdays, or Easter, or any time of the year. This one I made look like a Christmas bauble. From my 8x8 piece of iron-on interfacing with all the scraps sewn onto it, I managed to make 4 cards. So these are basically free to make apart from your card blanks. The next thing on the list are these tiny refillable air fresheners. I filled mine with coffee, but you could use lavender or just stuff them with something and pop some essential oils in them. I've used an elastic so I can hang them up, and a little press stud so I can open and close it to make them refillable. And I made them from tiny little scraps of Liberty fabric, and they are 2.5 by 5.5 inch scraps. So they're basically free to make, and any gift that is free is all good. Okay, and now we've got another thing that can go onto a lanyard. It's a glasses case, or you could make it a bit wider and put your phone in it. I made this with 28 by 4 inch fabric, I believe, and I added a little button for decoration. And you just pop a ring on the top. You'll need a little piece of fabric for your tab and some way to pad it. So I've used some fusible fleece. But your glasses pop in there. And you can clip it onto your lanyard, or you can clip it to your handbag, like that. They're really quick to make. They take about 15-20 minutes, and they're a really nice gift. Another great gift to make if you want to use up some fabric scraps, and you can mix and match these tissue holders. You can just drop them in your handbag and they keep all your tissues nice. You only need small pieces of fabric, like around, I think you need 2 5 by 6 inches and one piece that was 10 by 6 inches, I think. But all the videos are linked below in the playlist. You can box the corners of these, but you don't have to. And you just use those packets of tissues and pop them inside. The last thing I've got to show you is these pocket hooks. They've got a heart-shaped piece of cardboard inside them, and they're just a piece of fabric and they're sewn together. You can add a little tab and a clip if you like, but they're really meant to go in your pocket, so you can put your hand in your pocket and feel the heart shape from whoever gave you the gift. But these are super quick to make, less than 10 minutes, and make a great little gift. So thanks for watching. As always, see you on the next one.